Hello, Pulp Hounds. It's been a while, hasn't it? So, I've got a new mic, and I don't know how to clip it onto anything. It's a good mic. I'm pleased with it, but for now, I'm just gonna have to hold it and gesture with it, gesticulate with it, like an elderly gentleman would poke you in the shoulder with a pipe when you're becoming too much of an upstart. So this video is hopefully not going to be too long, quite short, and just about where I've been because there's a couple of things I wanted to say. I know a lot of people have commented on my videos, kind of saying, "Where are you, mate?" Um, and things haven't been great, I must admit. And there's a couple of things I wanted to say to you lot. If you just like, yeah, get to the books, Baldy. Straight after this, there will be a book haul video. Quite a fantabulous book haul video. So if you just want to wait a little bit, another couple of minutes, it's probably uploading straight after this one. So in May, uh, I I had quite a hefty bleed in both eyes. I'm diabetic, and I kind of knew it was a strong possibility that it was going to happen at some point. And it got uh, it was bad enough that I had to give up tattooing. There's a lot of novelty things in the tattoo industry, but being blind isn't. That doesn't help. That doesn't drive custom to you. Um, my lovely and very dear friend Ben. I had a chat with him, and he suggested that until things get rectified, I shouldn't be tattooing, and I really appreciate that, mate, because that can't have been an easy thing to say. Like, yeah, it's time to duck out, mate. I think if it was just up to me, I would have kept going for as long as I could, and probably ended up screwing up. Would have ended up screwing up because I can't see properly. Um, and that ultimately put me in quite a difficult financial situation. I know everybody's on about the cost of living crisis and things are getting stupid expensive. Um, and universal credit doesn't stretch for a lot of people. Um, so on top of having to stop working in an industry that I've adored for years and years and years and years, I was also heading into financial dire straits, which does get on top of you. It really does. I mean, I'm not an extravagant chap. Um, all the shirts and ties come from charity shops. All the records come from charity shops. Um, but I just didn't have enough to keep my head above water. And what I mean is, when my universal credit landed, I'd pay me rent, pay me electric, me gas, me water, me council tax, and I'd have between £7 to £15 a week remaining out of that for everything else. And that's really difficult. If anybody watching is in that situation at the minute, I get how difficult it is. Um, and then in June, my darling pickle Victor Von Doom collapsed, and I got him straight to the emergency vet. The PDSA were amazing, absolutely amazing. He had a huge tumour in his bladder, which had stopped him peeing properly, and it had backed up through his internal organs. And they said there was an operation they could do for him. It'd give him, if he survived the operation, it could well give him a few months. It could well be that it all grew back and he'd have to have another operation after a few months. And I made the really, really difficult decision to put Victor to sleep. And I stroked his head as he went. I've never known a cat like Victor. He was like nobody else I've ever met. And he genuinely was my companion here up at Redbeard Towers while the lad's at uni and it's just me rattling about. And I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back, and I really started struggling and became very unwell with everything getting on top of me, like became unwell mental health wise. And I don't think there's any shame in that. This is why I wanted to make this video. This is why I wanted to say this. If you're struggling, if things are on top of you, please don't be ashamed. I was ashamed. I was like, I couldn't explain it to people. People know I've got diabetes. I take medication for it. I'm quite open that that's like a thing. But with mental health difficulties, it's a lot more embarrassing. You're a lot more ashamed of it. I was. And there's no difference, is there? Me, whatever it is, my pancreas don't do the thing it's meant to do, or whatever internal bit of me doesn't sort sugar out properly. And it's exactly the same. There was a little bit of a gland in my brain that wasn't making the right amount of whatever chemical I need to be able to process these things properly. It's exactly the same. So I got some help, and it's been a little bit of a struggle. It's been an uphill slog. There are two people that I have to genuinely say a massive thank you to. One of them is the amazing Dave Brzeski, who I haven't been in touch with as much as I should. I haven't been in touch with a lot of people as much as I should. So if you're one of my old mates watching this, then I'm trying to get back to people's messages and just get, as my head's in a better place now, try and get back to everybody's messages and kind of get back on it a little bit. Dave sent me a few little parcels of macabre joy that I wasn't expecting, that I'll be talking about in future on my channel. And the other person is the wonderful Mark Morris, who's come every week and had a cup of tea with me and watched Orson Welles and vintage Doctor Who, and we've eaten biscuits. And thank you, mate. You've genuinely kept me sane. So then I upped my days at the charity shop I volunteer at. I just needed to get out of the house and do things. And then it was weird not being it is weird not being able to see properly. If you're wondering, my eyes are still getting worse. They're not bad enough for an operation, which they'll be able to do, but they're bad enough for me to not be able to draw. I've been trying to learn digital art properly. I've kind of been getting there with some of it, but I've still got an awful long way to go. And unfortunately, I've been struggling to read. I've since found out that a decent quality hardback or a decent quality Format C, which is like, you know, but a bit bigger paperback, I have a lot more success in seeing and reading, which is my little escape from the world. If I watch a film, sometimes my mind's still dwelling. If I read a book, it's a lot more immersive, and whatever is dwelling on my mind, it tends to go away a little bit. So, yeah, I upped me days at the charity shop a little bit. I had to walk there because I couldn't afford the bus fare. Yay! Our current government political message, insert it here. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I remember now. Brain fag, sorry. So, yeah, one of the managers at the charity shop did a quit. He went and he had loads of holiday left, and he used his holiday for his notice. So it was like, oh my word, we need a manager quick. And I thought, come on then, Redbeard, you're just shuffling round all day in your pajamas, on your own, surrounded by books that you can't read. It's time to shit or get off the pot. So I applied and got it. It's not what I want to be doing, but I can wear my own clothes. I can have as many cups of tea as I want, and I pretty much get first dibs on all the weird, unpleasant stuff that comes in. So, you know, it could be worse. And I work with some lovely people, and I do enjoy it. It's hard work, and there's been an adjustment going from being self-employed for as long as I have to working for somebody else, and it's like, I want a day off in a couple of weeks. I want that day off to do that. Oh, someone's already booked it. Sorry, you can't have it. Like, well, is that how it works? Anyway, at the end of the month, the wage is good, and it means I can pay my bills and buy books. And then a couple of months ago, I'm looking over there, and you'll see why in a minute. A couple of months ago, a friend of mine sent me a message saying, I've got an old gentlemanly cat that needs rescuing. Would you be interested? And my first thought was like, heck no, I haven't got over Victor yet. I can't do it. And she said, to be honest, mate, there's nowhere else that I think he'd be suitable. I like grumpy old people cats. I've always had grumpy old people cats. And she knew what she was doing. I played right into her hands because she sent me a photo. So I'm going to get him and sit back down with him. I'm going to move my mic. So this is Nimbus. He's a 10-year-old Maine Coon who needed a little retirement home. I'm going to put my mic down and hold him up. Come here. Oh. He's enormous. There's so much of him. How big is this boy? And he might not look it, but he's one of the most affectionate creatures I've ever met. And I think that's what I needed. And the whole thing about this video is saying, hello, I'm back. I'm going to try and do one video every week. It might not... I might not be able to do book and vinyl every week, but I'm going to keep trying. But I've missed doing this. I've missed you lot. I've missed chatting about books. And I kind of wanted to do this video as a return, and I found it too difficult to do. I don't like oversharing on social media, and it goes against everything I have been for the past few months. I've been very insular and hidden away. And I wanted to say that if you're there, if you're struggling on any level, because it's all relative to what you can cope with. Looking back, now I'm feeling better and everything's on the straight and narrow for me. I don't think there was any shame in getting depressed about losing one of my best friends and becoming partially sighted. That's like I honestly think that I get on top of just about anybody to the point where they wanted to give up. But at the time, I was like really hard on myself for not coping with it, which is just daft. If you're there, if you're low, if you're in those doldrums, reach out to somebody professional. I got help, and I'm still taking the tablets. I will be doing for however many years to come, but that's nothing new to me. I've had them before, or something similar. It's something that it just is. It's just part of my life. But I know it's a fight. It's a proper struggle to kind of just dial a number or go on a website and say, do you know what? I'm not well. And I know it's a fight. It's a fucking huge fight to do that, to push yourself. And the only person you're fighting with is yourself and your own doubt and misery and the thing that's gone wrong in here that's making you like that. But it's a fight. And you can win that fight. You can get back on top. And I now, thankfully, I'm feeling a lot more back on top. I've got an alright job. I've got a violent ginger baby that seems to live in my house that either bites my chin, tries to lick my eyes, or presents his Harris as close to my face as humanly possible or felinely possible. Stuff will get better. You've just got to not even win that fight. Just duck out of the fight for long enough just to tell someone that you're not quite right, you're not yourself, and you're not well. And there is no shame in that. So, I'll leave it there before I waffle on forever. I'm going to grab some books and let's do a book haul video.